Assalamu alaikum, good family. How y'all doing today? This is Ryan Jackson from Ryan Jackson LLC. Hope y'all are having a blessed and wonderful day. Hope you had a blessed and wonderful holiday weekend. Yesterday was Memorial Day. Actually, it was known as Decoration Day, and it was started by Black soldiers after the Civil War in Charleston, South Carolina, and it was known as Decoration Day. It got changed to Memorial Day decades later. But in any event, I hope y'all had a happy holiday weekend. Hope y'all are doing well. Hope you're having a blessed, wonderful day. This is the day that Allah has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. It's a beautiful day. I hope wherever you are, it's beautiful. And the likelihood that you're having one of those days, always remember this. Tough times don't last, tough people do. Keep your hope, trust, and faith in Allah God, and He will see you through. I could definitely bear witness to that. Also, um, I mentioned that yesterday was Decoration Day or Memorial Day, and we want to give thanks to those who, gave their lives in combat for democracy. That's another story for another day. But those who, you know, just paid the price. They served this country. Many of our black veterans, our black service members, white service members, whatso have you, who went in foreign lands and lost their lives. So yesterday was to honor and remember them, and we give them honor and we remember them. Also, we remember those who were lost for us to practice our faith in Islam. Those pioneers who lost their lives, who were terrorized by this government back in the 50s and 60s, or back in the 30s, going back to the 1930s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, even in the 70s. So we can practice our faith and, say Assalamu alaikum and wa alaikum salam and name our children, Malik and Aisha, give them Muslim names. So we remember them too. They may not have raised their hand and served in the military, but they did serve us, and they did, pay the ultimate price for us to practice our religion. Talking about the pioneers in the Nation of Islam decades ago, the pioneers in the civil rights movement, who risked their lives so that we could vote. And y'all know how I feel about voting, but they were fighting for something, and they wanted civil rights. I just think they should have went about it a different way, but but be that as it may, you know, they were they were patriots, and Memorial Day is for them too, not just for people who fought in wars or battles for democracy, but I argue that the people on the front lines of the civil rights movement were fighting for democracy, true democracy, and we pay honor and respect to them every day, not just on the last Monday of May, but every day. With that being said, hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications whenever I do videos on here. So I'm gonna get to the topic for this video. I guess y'all say finally, huh? But I just, had to get those thoughts off my mind. So I looked up what black fatigue is. Give me 1 second here. Black fatigue. I'm going to give you the definition. So the meaning of black fatigue. Black fatigue refers to the cumulative physical, mental, and emotional exhaustion experienced by black people due to the constant exposure to racism and its effects. Here's a breakdown of the meaning. Source of fatigue: systemic and individual racism. Black fatigue stems from experiencing systemic racism and its manifestations in everyday life, including microaggressions, discrimination, and the need to constantly navigate a society built on racial inequality. Historical trauma. It also incorporates the impact of historical trauma and the ongoing legacy of slavery, oppression, and racial injustice on the Black community. Emotional labor. The constant emotional labor of code switching, proving oneself, and experiencing racial bias contributes significantly to this fatigue. And there's the impacts of it. I'm getting that in a little bit. But I don't have Black fatigue. I don't know about y'all, but I don't have Black fatigue. I mean, once upon a time, maybe, but since I'm coming into the knowledge of self, um, studying under the teachings of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, given to him by his teacher, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we don't have Black fatigue. We're not. Do we suffer stress in this life? Of course, we're human. Do we have traumas that we suffered in this life? Of course, yes, we're human. But we don't mire in it. We don't go every day, man, I got to deal with this racism. Oh my God, white people so racist. Oh my God, it's hard being Black. It's hard doing this. That's a victimhood mentality. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that sounds like a victim. You going around complaining about it's hard being Black. The white man always keeping me down. This may be true, and it is true. Not maybe true, it is true. But what are you doing about it? It's one thing to complain about it and not do anything about it, not do a damn thing about it. Just complain, just cry and bitch and moan about it. But it's one thing to say, you know what? I'm sick of this racism. I'm tired of this white devil having this foot on my neck. I'm tired of this. He always on my back. I'm gonna do something about it. I'm gonna be the change that I'm seeking. I'm gonna get knowledge of self. I know it's gonna be hard. Life is hard. Life wasn't meant to be easy. It wasn't. I start my my videos off with every video for the past few years. I've started off with in this life a little rain must fall. There will be trials and tribulations. But what make you a strong person is your character. How do you go through the trials and tribulations? Do you just sit there and mire in depression, cry about it, complain, don't take any action? Or do you dust yourself off and say, you know what? It's okay to cry. It's okay to cry. I've cried many a days, but you got to work through that trauma. Cry, but work through your trauma. I'm going to get through this by the grace of Allah. Do you know our ancestors went through a lot worse than what we're going through? They weren't able to have the education that we have now. They weren't able to have, I guess, money in the bank if you the wealth, if you want to call it that. I'm talking about as far as liquid assets that we have now. But they made a way. They had their own businesses. They pulled their resources together. They built and bought their own homes, had their own land. They did for self. We have all these tools now. We have technology at our fingertip. We have the education more so now than they did back then. Have all the tools, but yet we still crying and complaining about the white man, about racism. Yes, I would never say that this white devil doesn't have his foot on our neck. I would never say that racism is a thing of the past. You would never hear that come out my mouth. What I am saying is that we should not play the roles of victims. We should not be in the take on the victimhood mentality. That's what I'm saying. Look at the Jews. They went through the Holocaust. They were persecuted. Yes, we faced the worst Holocaust in human history. But look how the Jews handled their Holocaust. Do they complain about, do they stay in the victim mentality? No. They built an industry in Southern California called Hollywood, the movie industry, Warner Brothers. They were Jews. It's a book I have in my other room here called How the Jews Built Hollywood. It's about this thick, about that thick. Yeah, about that thick, real thick book, real thick. There we go. Real, it's an interesting book, and it talks about how the Jews built Hollywood. The Asian community, they suffered. Again, we had the worst Holocaust in human history, but the Asians were persecuted. They had a Chinese Exclusion Act out here in California, and after the Civil War, I think it was in the 1880s, the late 1880s. The Chinese built Chinatown in San Francisco. They have one in Oakland. They have one in New York. They have one in L.A. Have one in Philly and Chicago. They built up their communities. The point I'm trying to make is they did not play the woe is me um, fiddle. Woe is me. Oh, I can't do nothing because I'm black. The white man hold me back. The white man doing this. The white. If you give this man power over you, then maybe yeah, you a slave. You are a slave. You a punk and you're a slave. You're a punk slave. I'm no one's slave. You are a slave. You sit up here crying about how powerful this man is. So if this man told you you can't feed your family, you can't feed your family, what you gonna do? You don't have money to feed your family. This man is so powerful. You don't have money to pay your bills. Is he paying your rent? Yes, I know we have jobs. I have a job or careers or businesses. I have a business. But like a old wise man from the South told me years ago, my grandfather, there's more than one ways to skin a cat, and there's more than one ways to make a source of income. You can have multiple streams of income. Start a business. A white man is not stopping you from starting a business. A white man is not stopping you for doing the side hustle. A white man is not stopping you from reading a book. And that's another thing I meant to mention a few seconds ago. Our ancestors could not, it was against the law for them to learn how to read. For them to learn how to read, it was against the law, against the damn law for them to pick up a book and read. Now we're free to read and we refuse to read. It's no longer against the law. But we won't even pick up a damn book. Make that make sense. It's no longer against the law. But many of our ancestors risked death to pick up a book and learn how to read, to educate themselves. They risked death, all sorts of lynchings, being maimed, being burned, limbs chopped off. Oh my, they risked all sorts of things. And we won't even pick up a book. Now, whether you go to college or not, college is good. I will say that it's college, nothing wrong with going to college. But again, back to that analogy, there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to be educated. College is a tool. There's one way to get education. Also, you could teach yourself. There are plenty. We have technology at our fingertips. It's a lot of tutorials on here about all sorts of things, plumbing, how to change oil in your car, how to change a tire, books on entrepreneurship, all sorts of knowledge out there. I've always said on this channel, willful ignorance is no excuse. Willful ignorance is no excuse. We're all ignorant. We don't know everything. We don't. We don't know everything. Only the creator, the maker of life, only he is all knowing. We don't know everything. We're learning as we go along. Learning. But willful ignorance, where you just refuse to do research or learn anything, it's no excuse. Because again, there's too much information out here, and you have it at your fingertips on these phones right here. It's just it's too much. It's just it's no excuse, none whatsoever. I would say it's just being plain stupid and dumb, willful ignorance. And our people wanted to learn. We wanted to do for self. Now we want others to do things for us and then complain when they don't. We want to play the victim. This victimhood mentality is sickening. They have white fatigue too, but I don't care about their fatigue. Let them be fatigued. I care about us. This is about us. It goes on to say impacts of black fatigue, physical and mental health. Black fatigue can manifest as various health problems, including anxiety, depression, PTSD, and even accelerated aging due to the chronic stress associated with racism. Why would you allow someone to have that power over you where it's affecting your health? It's having PTSD. You're depressed. It's causing you to go to an early grave. Why would you allow somebody to have that power over you? I refuse. Limited opportunities. The exhaustion can impact academic and professional performance, hindering opportunities for advancement. This is where separation needs to come in. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad told us decades ago, separate. We can't find justice. We can't find equality amongst these devils. We can't. We can't. Erosion of well being. It fundamentally erodes the mental, emotional, and spiritual well being of Black people, leading to feelings of hopelessness and despair. Why, again, I ask, why allow someone to have that power over your life where you feeling hopeless, you feeling worthless? It's affecting your spirituality, your mental well-being. Almost to sound like to the point of suicide. No one's gonna have that power over my life. I'm gonna speak that into existence right here on this channel. No one, I mean no one, is gonna have that power over me. Only the creator, the maker, the giver and taker of life has that power over you. No man or woman have that power over you. Don't allow them to. Oh man. Let's see. Importance of understanding Black fatigue. Validation of experiences. Recognizing and acknowledging Black fatigue validates the lived experiences of Black people and the immense toll racism takes on them. Yeah, we know this. It's already been acknowledged. Racism, that is. But again, when you allow your enemy to have that power over you, you're their slave. You're their slave. They got you wrapped around their finger. You a slave, and they will prey on it. This is what an uncivilized person would do. Persons would do. They will prey on your trauma. I always say on this channel here that Black trauma is $1 billion industry. We saw last week with the Nottoway plantation in White Castle, Louisiana. It went up in flames. All praises due to Allah. Praise the Lord. That mother sucker went up in flames. They put one fire out on the wing of this house of horrors, and then the embers rose up and caused another blaze and burnt the mother sucker down. Praise the Lord. The owner, I read, is some lawyer down in Louisiana. He vows to rebuild it. I hope it burns down again. I hope it blows up this time. Hope lightning strikes it. But that's Black trauma, and people are benefiting off of it. It's a damn resort. 64 bedrooms. I can't imagine a house with 64 bedrooms. I can't even imagine that. So you call this place was a resort. A resort where you call Like you going to Disney World or you going to Hawaii and you staying at a resort. That's just despicable and disgusting. Just but this is what they do. Yeah, a tree fell into a Confederate museum. Wow. A plantation caught on fire twice in DC. I saw that. Thank you for tuning in, Brother Will, Brother Iron Will. Salute to you, sir. You're a real one. Thank you for tuning in, brother. But yeah, could you imagine? Now imagine this. Could you imagine Auschwitz over in Poland, the concentration camp ran by the Nazis back in the 30s and 40s? Could you imagine Auschwitz being a resort, being a hotel? You go to Poland, and you want to see Auschwitz, and you want to stay on the grounds. Why would anyone want to do that? Is beyond me. But welcome to Auschwitz Resort and Hotel. How may we help you? Yes, my wife and I and kids would like to book a room there for at least about a week for the Auschwitz Resort and Hotel. How does that sound? That just sound disgusting. You're profiting off of someone else's pain, off of someone else's trauma. And the Jews, they would not allow it, and rightfully so. They probably would burn that mother sucker down. Could you imagine that? If Auschwitz was a resort, just think about that for a second. The Nottoway Plantation is our Auschwitz, a house of horrors. Auschwitz was a concentration camp full of horrors. Imagine if that was a resort. The Jews would raise hell. Am I am I right or am I absolutely right? But we allow people to profit off of our pain. Sometimes, not all the time, sometimes black people um, enjoy their trauma, enjoy their racism, to the point when you point it out to them, they calling you a hater. What do I mean by that? Listen at hip hop now. Excuse me for saying what I'm about to say, but our women are called bitches and hoes. We promote drug culture. We promote killing one another. Se- uh, uh, Sexual deviance. All these things, financial irresponsibility, all the above. We promote it, encourage it, and then we say black trauma. Well, if you wouldn't bask in the divisiveness, bask in the foolishness, then we won't have to worry about black fatigue. We are the only people who will celebrate our demise. Yup, and you see who's in charge of these record labels and companies. That's right. Non-black people profit the most off of black trauma. This is true. But also, brother Iron Will, some black people profit off of black trauma. They're the gatekeepers. We call them gatekeepers. They profit off of black trauma. They're the gatekeepers for their white masses. They're in the Democratic Party, the Republican Party. They're in hip hop. Yup, and Tyler Perry. Bingo. They're in Hollyweird. Not Hollywood, Hollyweird, because they're weird. Anytime you want to profit off of the trauma of your people, you're weird. You're weird. You're a weirdo. You don't see no other people, you don't see an Asian person profiting off of the trauma of Asian people or a Jewish person profiting off of the trauma of Jews or so forth and so on, but you see it with our people. And it's disgusting. And we call those gatekeepers. So with this black fatigue, we kind of we have to play a role in this too. We have to look at the man and woman in the mirror because we play a role in our black fatigue. We do. Like I said, with hip hop, with what's coming out of Hollyweird, Tyler Perry, like my brother just said, in the church, in the mosque too. Unfortunately, um, with these political parties, both the Democrats and Republicans, we play a role in it. Larry Cohen was asked directly, why doesn't he promote more positive rap and he didn't have an answer. Of course he didn't. Of course he didn't. Because positive rap doesn't make that make that bread. It doesn't generate that bread. So he sold his soul for a few pieces of silver and gold. He sold out. And we have a lot of sellouts these days. Promoting allyship. Understanding black fatigue is crucial for fostering genuine allyship and promoting change towards a more equitable and just society. Allyship with whom? We need to become allies with ourselves. This is the problem I have with integration because we want to integrate with everybody else, every Tom, Dick, and Harry, Susie and Sally, but we don't even want it within ourselves. How can we integrate with others when we can't even live amongst ourselves in harmony? So we need to promote allyship within the Black community, not with other communities. Last, how to address Black fatigue. Systemic change. Ultimately, addressing Black fatigue requires dismantling systemic racism and creating institutions and environments that are free from racial bias and discrimination. I hate to bust your bubble, but that will never happen. Like I said a couple of minutes ago, separation. That's the only solution to the race problem. That's the only solution to racial bias and discrimination is separation. We have to separate. We have to have our own timeout. We need to we need to be from white mainstream society. We need to iron out some things within our people. How can we live in harmony with others when we can't live in harmony amongst ourselves? We have to learn to live in harmony with ourselves. We did it before, we could do it again. We have to separate. That's the only solution for the race problem. We need a break from these devils. Yes, we do. Amen, brother. We need a break. We need a long break from these devils. Self-care and support. Black individuals can find ways to mitigate the effects of Black fatigue through self-care practices, seeking support from community and mental health resources, and setting boundaries. Or you can have learn a knowledge of self. Learning the knowledge of self will take care of that. Self-care, knowledge of self. Knowledge of self will give you self-care and support. Yes, therapists are good, but my thing with that is, and I'm seeing a therapist too, so full disclosure, there's full transparency there. Um, Only a black person knows the problems of another black person. So if you do go the route of therapy, if you go that route, talk to a black therapist because they're going to know what you're going through. A white therapist, they don't know the problems of the black community because they're not black. An Asian therapist doesn't know the problems of the black community because guess what? They're not black. Same thing with a Latino therapist. They're not black, even though they have their issues, but they're going to see it. They're not going to see it from your perspective. So only a black person will understand the problems of a black person, of another black person. We can all relate in some shape, form, or fashion. And you also can learn and get a knowledge of self. Yup, my therapist is a straight black American male. Bingo. Yup, the therapist I have is a straight black American male. And men, black men, have a black man as a therapist. Don't have a black woman as a therapist. Yes, they can understand what we go through as black people, but we as men, a woman can never understand the problems of a man because we go through some things. Like we can't understand the problems of a woman. They go through some things. So just a food for thought right there. But a black man, like I said, knowledge of self. The Nation of Islam is in every city. Not saying that you have to join a nation or even attend a mosque. If you would like to, that's up to you. It's open to the public, open to the black community. If you see the brothers out with the final call, support them. Get a knowledge of self. There are books by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. If you want to go deeper into it, join the Nation of Islam. Not saying you have to, but that's an option as well. Getting a knowledge of self love for your people. That's the Nation of Islam is a beautiful community. No other organization that I know that's still around, that's run by black people, that teach you a knowledge of self, having love of self, having love for your community. I can't think of another black organization. If y'all know of one, drop it in the chat. But the nation been around, it'd be 95 years on July 4th. 95 years in a little over a month from now. So, but like I said, I don't have black fatigue. I don't have it. I won't let it ruin my life. I refuse. It goes against the nature of God to let a devil have power over your life. That goes against the law and nature of God. And I refuse to go against the law and nature of God, especially when it comes to someone uh, having uh, ruling over my life to the point where I'm having health problems. Has lead me to an early grave because of a person. That's crazy. No, not I. So I hope what I said on here made sense. If it does, drop your comments in the chat. Drop your comments once I share this video. It'd be greatly appreciated. And I know there's probably going to be some who disagree with me, and that's fine and dandy. Always remember this. Let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. And in our disagreements, let's use logic, common sense, facts, and respect, not emotion and disrespect. That'll get you nowhere. So drop the comments below. Let me know what you think. Share this video. Share it. Let's have the conversation. It's definitely needed in this day and age. So share this video as much as possible. Support my YouTube channel, my future projects. It'd be greatly appreciated. I thank y'all for y'all love and support. I can't do these videos without y'all. So please continue to show the love and support for your brother. Be greatly appreciated. Brothers as well as sisters, y'all be safe out here. Beware and be aware. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy now more than ever before. We know that the summer break is coming up for the children. They'll be out of school soon. A lot of y'all are going to be taking vacations with your children. Whether you're going to work, coming home from work, dropping your children off at school, picking them up, running errands. I mentioned vacations. Whatever the case may be, beware and be aware. Even in your own home, beware and be aware because you're not even safe in your own home. You think you may be, but you're not. So always be on the alert. This devil wants to kill us now more than ever before. I love y'all. Have a blessed and wonderful day. That's right. Stay prayed up. Like my brother said, stay prayed up. That's a must. Uh, well, hope you'll have a blessed rest of your day. Enjoy this nice weather wherever you may be. If it's nice where you're at, if it's not, still go out and take a walk, get some exercise. And that goes for me too. But in any event, y'all have a blessed rest of your day. I love y'all. Y'all take care. I will talk to you soon, inshallah. And I'll see you soon. Peace, brother. Peace to you as well. Y'all have a blessed day. Love y'all. I'm out. Assalamu alaikum.